Frankie. Oh, he's so mad. Hi, good morning. Happy Sunday. Okay, I called you all here because it is a gorgeous day out, and I don't think I'm going to get a video done today. So then I thought, just do a live, because I was trying to think of all the things I want to say, and I have a list. I actually created a list, and I don't know. I don't like doing lives because what if I say something really horrible and I can't take it back? I can't delete it off of a video from my camera, right? So my thing is then, hold on. I let my face get too dry. This is just rose water. But if I forget to put my moisturizer on right after I wash my face, I got a little rash there for some reason. I don't know. Oh. Hey, what are you doing? Get out. It's not yours. He's so snoopy. And it's so cute. He just wants things to chew on. But he won't chew on anything that's hard, that's going to last. He wants to chew on things that are soft, like socks. And so I am saving sort of like old dish rags, because the stuffed animals don't last very long. And they can be such a mess to clean up. They just explode. So, oh yeah, moisturizer. You want some? You want some? Is that good? You like that? No biggie? Okay. That's good. No biggie. But you can't get up here. No. Okay, so some of the things I wanted to touch base with was, hi, Judy. Hey, if you want to follow someone, she's got Beauty Over 70 with Judy. She's a spicy woman. She's got guts. She's dedicated to pushing herself through health issues, taking care of business. She's self-aware. She's got some insight. And she is about makeup. I was watching her pretty steady. She and Rose Over 70, makeup artist. No, she's like such a warm hug to me. Thank God for... Thank God for messages that come through the universe or God or whatever you want to call it. The strength and push that gets us through life sometimes. And the sweetness and the warmth, the love that gets us through sometimes. Sometimes you don't know what you need until you get it. And that's how I feel about it. So, one of the things I want to talk about too is that feeling, sweet Diana. I'm so glad your daughter touched base. Now, one of the things that I'm going to say, I wish you were here so we could chat back and forth, but I do want to send you a message, because the text message or message, whatever you call it, I was going to send you is just going to be too long and messy. I need some sunscreen. I'm going to be outside all day because it is warm. It's breezy, but I don't care. I can't be in this house when it's that warm outside. I'm going to find something to do. Put my hair back so it doesn't get in my face. Okay, focus. When people come in and out of my life, we'll just say, for example, and it's been, there's a magic number in my book. And I got it from reading an article about what men really want. And the book mentions that as humans, and I don't know if it's just true for men, but I've seen it more so in men than women, maybe in women too, of course. But a human can't usually be away from someone they love and care about more than 4 months. Okay, give or take a week or two. But we as humans, we need connections. And when we have important connections, like deep friends, family members, if someone leaves and they take as long as it could take to have an actual child from conception to birth, that's interesting. I say enjoy it. Go ahead and enjoy it. Diana, I love you. You are sweet. I don't know what happened between. And if you're new to the channel, Diana could be a fictitious name. So, so I'm just going to say that this could be a genuine growth, or it's an unspoken agreement. You just weren't let in on what the agreement was. Because of the stress between you, it might be an agreement that, okay, we're going to quit the silent treatment because I need something from you. I will need something from you. I'm just not going to tell you what it is yet because I want to make up. Now, I'm not trying to make you paranoid. I'm trying to give you the math. What human being do you know could cut somebody out of their life? That's sad. Almost always. Not always, but almost always. It's more than missing love. Matter of fact, that's why I don't watch the Hallmark Channel anymore. Because they're having all these couples get together after they've been broken up for years, or a year or longer. And I can tell you that it does happen, because you'll hear people say, oh, we were in love in high school, and then we went away to college, it just didn't work out, or they left me for someone else, or they didn't, whatever. Well, if you don't have enough of what it takes to be in a committed relationship with a certain person, that doesn't usually change. You're still the same human. So either you know you're going to always be second, or you know they've made a bargain with themselves that we're going to be helpful somehow. And sometimes, well, a lot of times, the trade-off is worth it. Sometimes the trade-off is just worth it. That's all I can say. I still have relationships where it's a bargain. It's a bargain. Great. It's a good deal. And I'm grateful for it. But it's not intimate love. So what I'm trying to say is just be careful that, I'm not saying don't be involved with the kids or the family member or the friend. I'm saying be careful with how much you're investing. Be careful with how much of your heart and soul you're investing how much anxiety you're carrying every day, hoping for another conversation, hoping for this, hoping for that, hoping to grow. Because when you're codependent and distance from somebody breaks your heart all day long, every single day, maybe it comes and goes a little bit, but it's pretty much intense. You're wearing yourself out. You okay down there? Frankie's under my feet. Oh, he's such a good boy. So I don't know why I get. Oh, well, I do know why. I didn't grow up with family, so I'm very protective, and I'm already protective of you. So I don't want to see anything bad happen. I just am so happy for you. So happy for you. Prayers are answered. And I want you to feel soothed and comforted. Please believe me. Yes. Just that other little part of me as, being that clash between the psychotherapist and the reality, the math, and the person who's like, I just want you to be comforted with or without them. And since it's with them, that's where you're going to get your comfort. I just want you to be careful. That's all. That's all. That's all. I'm sorry. I had to say it. But I'm very happy for you. And I want you to know you always come back and say, well, I don't want you to leave. But I want you to come back and be able to bare your soul. And if you ever want me to delete a message, just send me a memo. Hey, that long message that I sent you, I want you to go ahead and delete that. I will do whatever you want. And I'll continue talking to you and encouraging you and lifting you up. You're wonderful. I can't believe the kind of wonderful comfort that I've gotten from some of you ladies. And Diana, you're one of them. I can't imagine shutting you out of my life on purpose for 9 months. But yet using your services as well. I don't know. We never know what happens in people's lives' history. Do you know that when I was young, I guess I was kind of a spitfire, but that's not what I felt like on the inside. That is not what I felt like on the inside. On the inside, I felt insecure, scared, worthless, used, abandoned, lots of things. But spicy wasn't one of them. I didn't feel that, but I came across that to other people. So it's interesting. So sometimes we don't know what the dynamics are that's going on with people. But we all make mistakes, like you, like me, and maybe like the kids. But we want to leave a door open for just in case. Because when you can get along with your family, there's, what a comfort. What a joy. So I get it. Please don't. I hope I didn't come across too harsh. Okay, so I also wanted to talk about Frankie. Don't be tearing it up, boy. Neighbor dog barking. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is Denise asked some questions about narcissism, and I can tell you, I'm not sure if I said it very well yesterday or when I posted that one about narcissism recently, is there's some misinformation, as far as I'm concerned, in the ways I tell things or the way anybody else tells things, because it's hard to put everything into one article or one TV show or one video. So I'm trying to say it in the, with as little time as possible, because I really am not in a position to be on here forever, hours, because it wouldn't be like just a TED Talk lecture. It's taking in consideration different scenarios and different um, ex- what's a different research. And it's hard to do research on people who lie. So my opinion, and it's not an old researched opinion, it's a fairly new opinion, or even if it's been around for a while, it's not one that's talked about much. You're going to see a lot of videos about narcissism and how hard it is and how to protect yourself. What you're not going to see very often, because I checked it out. After Denise brought it up, I thought, you know what, I'm going to check this out a little bit. So I ended up sending her an article that I think was a little helpful. You can see it in my last video in the comments section. But I am looking for my eyebrows. Oh, here it is. I think, and on Vanessas Point, hi Vanessa, thank you, darling. Mwah. She has a channel too. You should check that out. Sweet, sweet woman. Now that's someone you can check in with every day, just before you put on your nightly meditation. So sweet. I love that we can support each other. Okay, but it's like when you say someone has a certain IQ, the IQ is on a spectrum. It's not just good IQ or bad IQ. It's on a spectrum. Any mental health, illness, disease, or personality disorder, that's what they call it, those are all, in my opinion, on a spectrum. Just like back in the days when they said someone was retarded. Well, bear with me. Don't take offense of the term. I know it's not politically correct anymore. But here's the deal. It was on a spectrum. There were a lot of people who were slower or this or that. And now we have all these names for different things. Okay. So, the thing is, are we all narcissists? Well, we're all human. So, yes, you think about a baby. We're born with narcissistic personalities. I want what I want when I want it. And I wanted it yesterday, right? That's how it goes. That's how children behave, babies, infants, toddlers, young children. If they don't get what they want, it's going to get worse. And then, depending on how they're being raised, especially if it's not consistent, logical behavior in some form, like telling a kid, they're beautiful, they're beautiful, they're beautiful, oh, they're wonderful and wonderful. And then here's what happens when you don't prove it by your behavior, the kid starts disconnecting from empathy. Not all kids. And here's something I want you to know. Narcissism, true narcissism, like from the scale of 5, 6, and up, is only like 4% in the United States. 4% of people. 4 out of 100. 40 out of 1,000. So all these videos about all these narcissists, my God, they're not all narcissists. I wasn't a narcissist. Some of us are just more self-centered and have lack of empathy for people they're not in love with. There are some people who are low on empathy, but they will do whatever it takes to protect you and support you. They don't have to feel that love and mush, but they will do what's right, right? That's not a narcissist per se. That's not someone you want to stay away from. It's just if you're looking for that empathy, someone to understand you, to see you, to feel you, you're not going to get it from someone who is higher on the narcissist scale. And there are some people who feel everything. I dated 2 different guys who both were very high on the empathy scale. If certain music played, they would tear up. If they watched a movie, oh, sniffles. If someone told a sad story, it was a big deal. And it was disturbing to me because sometimes it was in public and I just felt like uncomfortable. So it just depends on what you're attracted to. Just because I was uncomfortable didn't mean I didn't care about the person. There were other reasons why we broke up, in both cases. And part of it was I was spending time with them because they were very attractive to me in some ways, but they weren't attractive enough. And that's what some of us don't understand, that when we're like my scale, you can't be a 0 on the narcissist scale in my book. You can't. You have to, most people will get their needs met, even if they look compassionate. There are people who volunteer, they do the work, you see them in the newspapers, everything else. Well, I promise you, even those people wouldn't be doing it unless it was serving them. Could be the paparazzi, could be the good press. They're not going to say it, and sometimes they don't even know it until all of a sudden someone doesn't see them doing something really terrific, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, we did this. Yes, I organized it, but yes, we did." Right? We like a pat on the back. We're human. I've done some volunteer work before, and I'm serious. I don't want anybody to know. I don't want any pats on the back. And before we left, the old lady said, "I want your addresses." And I thought, oh, she's going to send us a thank you card. Well, after a couple months, I was thinking, where's my thank you card? I got over it, but it was kind of funny that I even had, it's not like I waited for it every single day. Trust me, I wish there was another word for it, but this low level of narcissism isn't something that eats at you every day. You want to win. It's something that, it's self-centeredness. It's self-esteem, self-appreciation. We need to get it from somewhere by behaving in certain ways. And the way we appreciate certain behavior is being told, wow, that is good behavior. Oh, well, then I feel better about myself. Then I made the right choice, right? So I didn't worry about her sending that card every day, but it occurred to me like a couple months later, I was going through some receipts to put them in my taxes. And I thought, well, I'm going to put that under donations because of the gas and the chainsaw repairs. And I'm not sure if we bought another, it was a couple years ago, chainsaw to get the job done or not. But that's when I thought about it. And I thought, oh, look at me being so silly. And then I thought, I wonder how she's doing. I wonder if I should go check on her. We have a lot of older people in my neighborhood, so I like being in the know how my neighbors are doing. I really do. Okay, so I hope I'm making myself clear. We need a different word for low scale narcissism because that word is just so. Oh, and do you know where the word comes from? I guess there was a Greek god. You know, the Greeks had their gods. Well, a lot of people did, but I think it was a Greek god. And they died somehow because they were looking at their own reflection in the water so long and admiring themselves so much that I guess they fell in and drowned. I don't know. That's what I remember. It might not be true. Let me see what else is on my note. Oh, so one of the reasons why I quit watching the Hallmark Channel, now I like Up TV and things like that. They're a little more realistic. Hallmark Channel, I got forwarded some names to record. They have a couple this last year that were a little better, or this last 12 months. But I'm not sitting watching it in the background while I'm doing housework anymore. I used to think it was so sweet and everything, but the damsel in distress who's mad and hateful, and then all of a sudden in the last 5 minutes, oh, I didn't realize. Ugh, sorry. Oh, I kind of mentioned that already. Oh, I want to say a special thank you to Rose about mentioning the prayer that I did. And I'm going to tell you why. When I was younger, I was such a narcissist. Low on the scale because I wasn't a true narcissist. Most people aren't. I mean, if you take 4% of the human race, or 4% of all United States of America people who they could get into this study, 4%, that's not many. And even of those 4% of narcissists, not all of them are mean or psychotic. They're just CEOs and bankers making hard decisions without a whole lot of feelings. And they're doctors and lawyers. They have the personality that can do those jobs. Well, the thing about Hallmark, it makes it look like, and I'm going back to what I was talking about when I first started, is they make it look easy to be away from somebody so many years and not have any contact to support and encourage each other, and then get back together and fall madly in love. That's just not the way it is. Well, when I was younger, I would get in relationships, because when we're young and we're kind of broken in certain ways, we protect ourselves. And some of that behavior looks narcissistic. You're never going to believe what I did. I'm going to admit this because it's terrible. And I just now thought of it. I hadn't thought about this, and I don't think I ever thought of it before. But I was going out with this really sweet guy. I don't know why he was attracted to me. I can barely remember what he looks like. I remember he was a tall, slender, blonde, curly-haired Swede. And I had a couple boyfriends that looked like that over time. So he was my type at the time. Anyway, he finally decided it was time to introduce me to his family. We had known each other for several weeks, and he thought, oh, he was so attracted to me. Turns out he introduced me to his family, and it was like a big family meal. They prepared a big family meal. It looked like a Thanksgiving meal to me. Well, because I grew up so poor, whoops, oopsie, thank you. Because I grew up so poor, and I was jealous of almost everybody, almost every day of my life. I'm sharing that because it's not uncommon. And a lot of people, if they look deep, get some good therapy, they slow down and think about it, it's one of the things that causes a lot of problems in their lives. They just don't know what to call it. and they'd rather blame other people for their feelings than take care of it. Thank God for therapy. But I was sitting there at this big, beautiful dinner table, and I had such lack of empathy for each and every person sitting at the table. For instance, I did not consider what it was like for them to have their son bring this girl home. I did not know I didn't know how to consider the work and the planning that went into having everybody show up and to prepare the meal. I didn't think about my boyfriend thinking, gosh, I hope everybody likes her, or I hope they see in her what I see, or see things in her that I don't see to help me further this journey. But instead, I thought all eyes are on me and I'm tired of people looking at me. Why do I just felt like everybody was looking at me. So I lied about who I was. I was arrogant. I did not do a good show. He broke up with me probably later that day. I was a hot mess. It was just like, I can't do this. Right? So I'm just saying that, and I'm not a narcissist per se. I think all of us are somewhere on the scale up to 4. And I was definitely up to 4 for probably 2 decades, the first 2 decades of my life, between being a legitimate physiological child who, yes, they are self-centered, and then being in the state of trying to find myself from having such a dysfunctional upbringing. I was still not very empathetic to others, still very self-centered. So that's what I'm talking about. Are we all narcissist? I just want a different word. Low on empathy, and that can grow. Empathy can grow, but it's an exercise. We have to be able to practice. Some people are like, I don't know what you mean when you say put myself in someone else's shoes. I'm not an actor. I can't pretend. Well, I don't know how much of that is true. I think we all can pretend. I just think sometimes we get stubborn. I mean, to really put ourselves in somebody else's shoes. And sometimes I forget to do that. I have to try to do it sometimes. Sometimes it's not natural. Like when I give it suggestions or I put my ideas out there, I can tell you right now, I don't always say it with couth and class. Sometimes I just say it like some lumberjack who doesn't have time for that crap. And I do have time. It's just not natural for me to be a smooth talker. Especially when I started deciding I am not going to die a liar. I'm not going to die. Now, if there's something I don't know, okay, fine. I will finally admit I didn't know. I'll be like, I was wrong. Damn it to hell. Okay, what was the other thing I wanted to bring up? Oh, yeah, I'm still on the subject of Hallmark. I keep coming back. Marketing is an interesting thing. You gotta understand, until the industrial age, most people didn't have free time. We were agriculture, hunter-gatherers. We were busy. We weren't sitting around talking about feelings. That's the truth. We had shit to do. So, or we had people do it for us. So when you talk about how far we've come, people don't appreciate the fact that we humans need to be busy or it's not good for our mental health. We need work, whether it's volunteer work or actual labor or it's thinking work. We need something to do. For me, it's my profession, and it's also working in the yard. I love working in my yard. And I have to have this on because it is windy out, gusting, and it feels like bugs when little tiny hairs get in my eyes. But Hallmark gift cards, they lied to us. Denise, hi. Honey, are you mad at me? Did I say too much? Oh, come back. Oh, well. Sorry, I didn't have my glasses on. I didn't see that there was a message. Oh, darn it. Okay. So, anyway, Hallmark Channel has said things like, love is never having to say I'm sorry. It's, what's another one? Love can heal everything. Love can't heal everything. And I will tell you, love does mean sometimes saying you're sorry. That's the deal. And if you don't know how to say you're sorry, there's a book called 5 Languages of Apology. Just like the book 5 Languages of Love. Let's see. Oh, and Patricia, honey, we enjoyed praying for you. We enjoyed that. So whenever you decide to do your surgery, that would be great. I do want to say, I don't know how bad your tremors are, but sometimes you make it sound like they're terrible. And sometimes I wish I'd just pack up and go help you out, figure it out together. Delaying this surgery, I understand that. When we love somebody, and sometimes even as we grow older, we have more to give. So I get that. I just don't want you to put yourself in jeopardy. And that's how I feel about self-esteem. Is sometimes we give so much, it looks like we don't have self-esteem. And that's too bad. Because it's bad role modeling for other people. But sometimes we'll take the crumbs we get. Sometimes it's enough. Frankie's moaning. He wants to get outside in this weather so bad. I dug up a wildflower out of my mother-in-law's. Oh, hi. Yeah, you like the hairdo? This is my working in the yard hairdo. Good to see you, Nightflower. But we have to have the guts to be in relationships that may or may not be good for someone else, but they're good for us. We have to weigh out if we're getting enough. There's Denise. Yay! Being egotistic, me first, is like surviving skill. Finding pleasure in mental torturing another is a whole nother level. Absolutely. Just my opinion, and I am not mad at you. Yay! Thank you. Yeah, torturing someone else, that is 6 and up. Now remember, here's something tricky. Here's something people forget. Is some people will do that for a very short time, and later they'll be sorry about it. Like when people are divorcing and they start throwing stones at each other, and then they start doing really cruel or rude things to each other. That usually dies down after 4 months. We can usually only keep up bad behavior for a very short amount of time, but that doesn't make a template of their personality forever. Oh my gosh, the things people say and do when they're breaking up and they're mad at each other, it's horrible. That's why a lot of divorce attorneys quit that area of the law when they start noticing that they're pretty good at being a defense attorney, because a lot of attorneys have to do pro bono, so they'll have to play one side or the other, usually defense, and because they're just like, that's stressful. Like, I'm not a marriage therapist anymore. I'm not dealing with it. People act crazy rude, and they're not necessarily normally higher than a 1 or 2, like you or me. Yeah, people who like to torture each other, those aren't CEOs either, and they're like 3 or 4 on what I would call the narcissist, and all that means is they're lower on empathy. That's what a 5 and under is. It can be temporary, being at a 3, 4, or 5. That's temporary. It looks narcissistic. It looks rude. It looks like they like hurting somebody, but it's not. It's no longer than 4 months usually. CEOs are usually at a 3, which is high for us everyday people. High, that means they don't have a problem firing people. They don't have a problem hiring somebody for more money than the person that's doing the same job right next to them. They don't have that issue. People who like to torture, they're at 8, 9, and 10, depending whether it's domestic violence, if it's just messing with people's heads. And then you get into the 10 and up, then you're getting into the psychotic, antisocial misbehavior. That's usually where you're looking at legal issues, right? When I was saying domestic violence, there's different levels of domestic violence. I'm talking about what I believe is the most common, and that's verbal, emotional, financial. That's in the 8, 9, 10 area. The part where you start hitting people, that's not narcissistic. That's psychotic in my book. That's a psychopathy. Murder, mayhem. That's not on the scales. Anyway, one of these days I'll be more eloquent with my words. Probably once I die and go to heaven. But let's see, did I touch base on everything I wanted to say? I think that's about it. I just want to say another little special thank you to Rose. Her comment about the praying just felt like a hug to me. And when I hear from all of you, it feels like a hug. So I just want you to know that. I really enjoy it. And I'm sorry I don't give heads up that I'm going to do a live. I'm not that organized yet. I didn't know I was going to do a live until 2 minutes before I gave one today. So I want you to know I love you, and I wish you were here helping me in my yard. Let's do this again. All right. I love you guys. And thank you, Denise. And thank you, Nightflower. Oh my God, what a great handle. I love that name. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out in the yard and I'm going to say bye for now. Mwah. Oops, look what I did. I'm still learning. I'm still learning. Oh, no, not hitting. That's damn right crazy. Normal people don't lay hands on another. Yes, that's right. That's why I don't include that in the narcissistic scale. That's once you get to 10, you're getting into a different personality disorder. Yeah, domestic violence, for the most part, like I said, is the verbal, emotional, financial stuff. Once someone starts hitting you, I think that should have like domestic violence point two. That's over the top. So we're here on the narcissistic scale at our worst here. That's at 5. Then you take 5, and these are people kind of like playing with each other. They're playing with people. They like to experiment with how they can just fuck with people's minds. And that'll go, and that has nothing to do in my book with career or poor upbringing, bad mental health, unless they are bipolar, borderline. And see, then you have a combination of something else. So you're going to go over to 10. So 0 to 5, 5 to 10. This is where narcissistic personality disorder, they start experimenting with people, just jiving them, just telling them little stories, just poking the bear. They love to see it. And they might date multiple people just because it's all about them. But once you get into hitting people, getting to really messing with people's minds, that's not, I don't consider that narcissism. Okay. Just want to make that clear. My public announcement. Does anybody have any questions? Maybe that's why I had trouble shutting it off, and then I got to see Denise's comment. Aw, thank you. You say some of the smartest stuff too, Denise. I love getting your comments. And Nightflower, hang around. Join us. It's a small group of us. But we're really open and honest with each other and just try to love and encourage each other as we go along. It's almost kind of like group therapy for me. So I love it. No more questions? Okay. I love you. And now I see the real button to shut off. Okay. Bye for now.